Right, well, let's go. I suppose at the moment, David, what's it like to be you? 7 in 9 and an absolute peach of a goal last week at Huddersfield.
Yeah, it's good. Obviously, scoring goals is good, but you can't really embrace it as much when you're scoring and not winning all the games. So coming off the pitch and on Saturday scoring a nice goal, but losing 2-1, it's not that same feeling. So I need to turn these goals into victories, and you can celebrate and cherish it much more.
How are you managing the workload right now and playing week in, week out? Because there were times that have been early in the part of the season where it was starting, sub, coming on, etc. Now it's playing.
Yeah, it's weird. I talk to people about this, and me personally, I prefer it to keep going, like to play, because I feel like say if we have a few days off, I come back in on that. Say we had a Sunday and Monday off, I come back in on a Tuesday and my body's been shut down. I'm even worse than what I was on a Saturday. So it's like I need to keep my body just going. So even on the Sunday, on the Monday, we've got a game Tuesday. I'll be on the bike. I'll be doing something just to keep my legs going. I feel fine. I got told when I was 30 that my legs were gone. I've been told when I was at Derby, that take a chill pill. Sometimes you can't train, I can't do it. I want to train. I want to play all the time. I don't know how long I got left. So if I get rolled out Saturday, Tuesday, listen, I might not be 100% on the Tuesday in terms of sharpness or if I play every game. But, there's not a time where I don't want to play, and, you got to cherish all these times that I do play.
And part of the reason I asked that question was that in the press conference with the manager, he was talking about your work rates and getting back and then pressing and being everywhere and then obviously being in positions to score. You're not sort of just doing what some players do and just take care of their role or stay in their area of the pitch because it suits them, it gets the best out of them. Mm-hmm. You're still buzzing around all over the place.
Yeah. And I enjoy that bit, you got to enjoy the hard work. I feel like the harder you work, I think there was an instance, a game, I wasn't in the game in the first 15, 20 minutes at Huddersfield, and then I tracked back and I made a sliding tackle. And then it's like, okay, yeah, I'm in the game. It's, these little moments that just start you off in a game. It could be anything. When you're playing as a lone striker, you're not always going to get touches of the ball. You're not always going to and be involved. You're waiting for the wingers to create something or something. So sometimes you have to go and do a crazy press or track back or do some defending. And it's all part of the game, and I enjoy it. I think throughout my career, I've never been just a natural goal scorer. I've always tried to be involved in somehow. So yeah, doing all the dirty work, it's part of the game, and everyone's got to do it.
When you signed on the dotted line and we spoke in the summer, you were talking about not just playing clearly, but leadership roles in an increasingly youthful Barnsley team. Given the results are kind of what they are and the attack is superb and the defending kind of isn't, how are you enjoying that role?
Yeah, it's good. Obviously, I think all the boys kind of lean on me for certain things. But it's not all about just vocal and going around shouting and screaming, at half time, 4 times if we've lost or we're drawing or we're conceding. That's not who I am. I think it's more about how you conduct yourself, small words when you talk, everyone listens, and the way you conduct yourself day in, day out, looking after yourself. I think some, not in a dressing room, but in football, I think, boys that have made first a few senior games, I think they already made it. And, you can quickly come out of the game. And I think people are realizing that. And I think you have to work every day. I've said it before, it's a lifestyle being a footballer. It's not just coming to training 9 till 2 or whatever and then go home and then you're not a footballer. You have to live it and breathe it if you want to make it. It's like any job, if you work there 9 till 5, you to get to the top of to top of that food chain, you'll have to do all you have to do. You have to put in extra hours, extra work to get to the top of that, to be the CEO of that company. You have to do everything. So football is a job. So if you want to be the top footballer and play in the top league, you got to do all you can to be in that top league, and that's what everyone aspires to. But it doesn't get given to you. You know, you got to go get it, and you got to do it yourself because no one hands it to you.
Do you think that dealing with those issues is now more of a thing in football because footballers or younger footballers maybe are more likely to think that they've cracked it, or has it always been the case? And, you know, senior players back 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, etc., were cracking the whip saying, look, nothing comes for free here. Or is it more of a thing now?
It's completely changed, if I'm honest. You know, when as a young boy coming through, you didn't step out of line. You didn't say boo to a goose in the dressing room. You kept your head down. You worked hard. You did whatever. You even small things. You made teas and coffees on the coach. It's for all the senior players. Now, you know, it's out of the game. It's not the youngsters' fault. It's just out of the game. You know, I had to clean boots. I was a boot boy. Certain things. But now, as a young boy, you know, you score one goal. You open an Instagram account, you get thousands of likes, you think you've cracked it, and then you feel that you don't have to go in and grind as much as you do. But that's just part of the society at the minute. You know, it is what it is, and I'm lucky that I'm on the other side of it because I like the grounding work. I think that's brought me to the man I am, and then to the father to my kids of what I do as well.
Does that make you think about, and I wasn't really going to mention the future today, but I suppose we're veering in that direction, about your enthusiasm for the industry, not the game, not even being at Barnsley and just, you know, being in the dressing room, but that culture, and whether you think, do I need this anymore?
If I want to be honest with you, I do. I've had thoughts about it for the past few years. But you know, I don't want football to retire me. I want to retire from football, if you get what I mean. When the time is right, I will do. Not for the playing style. I feel like I could play for a few more years. That's down to me, the way I look after myself. You know, if I go in the off season and let loose and don't get myself right, and then, you know, my body might not be right for the next season. But I know that if I went in the off season and I conducted myself the way I've been doing the past off seasons, I know I'll be all right to play again. But it's, you know, the game's changed so much. You know, everything that goes into it, the philosophies, everything, that how I came in is completely different. You know, I'm quite lucky here. I really enjoy it here. The way we play, the way we train, the way the routine is, everything. Obviously, because Con and Keezy have just not long retired, they kind of know what players like and that. But you know, the future is an interesting topic. I don't know the future in terms of coaching, managing. I don't want no part of it. I got no interest in it, to be fair. Like Con, when I was with him at Derby, I could smell it on him then. He was doing all his badges. He was, you know, doing revision work on the coaches. You could tell, yeah, he's got the bug for it. And I think you're either in it or you're out. You can't be half-hearted, and I'm definitely not in it.
And just on that, and this is literally putting two and two together as a convergence of time. Again, generally speaking, Connor was talking about contracts, the international break coming up, and sorting out things. You weren't necessarily mentioned specifically, but on that, you know, is it just the basic plan to carry on? Yes, and if so, at Barnsley.
Well, I'm seeing we've got 16, 17 games left, 16 games. I'm going to put myself in the best position I can. You know, it's the mindset. You know, I think a couple months ago, before the new year, I think there was a spell for 4 or 5 weeks where I wasn't myself in terms of playing. And if you're a player and you can't admit where you're not on it, then you're deluded, and that's where football is wrong. You know, I had a 4 or 5 week where I could not checked out, but I was just going through the motions, and then, you know, sometimes you need a little bit of fire. I've had it many a times, and I think I was going through Twitter, and I don't really go on there much. I got like a little fake burner account, And
Really?
yeah, it's just just to keep on top of me. I keep on top of all the old teams and just like the certain things, what's going up in the world. You got to keep up in the world. And it came up and I seen looked on the Barnsley thing and it said, yeah, a fan commented saying, McGoldrick gone, his legs are gone, blah blah blah. And but people can take that in a negative way. I took that as okay, no problem. So my legs haven't gone, but maybe it looks like that from the outside. So for the next 2-3 weeks, when I wasn't in the team, I knew I wasn't going to be on the team with DKD scoring goals. I knew my role on the bench coming on or whatever. I had a few injuries. I got my head down and I changed my mindset straight away and said, okay, I will show you that it's not happening. It's not. And then that built it into the game against Blackpool. I got a call in the morning from Con saying, Dabo's sick, so he's starting. And I literally just put the phone on and smiled to myself and said, okay, here I come. And I was ready for that. So if for these 17 games, 16 games, whatever, I know I'm just going to put myself in the best, be in the best shape I can, the best. My mind's good, I feel like every time I go on a pitch, I'm going to score now. I should have scored in the week against Peterborough for a header. I went a one-on-one. I'm getting chances. I will continue to get chances if I'm on the pitch. So I'm just taking it. I don't know what the future's going to hold at Barnsley. I don't know what the future's going to hold at myself. I'm not a spring chicken no more. I know that time comes to everyone, and where you have to call it a day. But I know that I will retire from football, and football won't retire me. So that's one thing that I always do say to myself.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, it's great to talk to you, David, as always. I was sat next to a 40-year-old spring chicken in Billy Sharp last night. With ages, yeah. You're miles younger than him.
Well, see, he's got over 5 years with him. That guy, he won't stop. That guy.
Brilliant. I'll leave you to it. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Sorry, my internet just cut out a little bit there. Sorry, David. So a few from me, if that's okay. Just your goal on Saturday. Just talk us through that. Were you, as soon as you picked it up, were you thinking top corner?
Yeah. Obviously, I knew when the throw-in got taken and Luca run up to the ball. I know Luca's game. I knew he was going to reverse it into me. And then he went to make a run past me, and I heard in a Scouse voice saying, "Bakiola." So when he done that, I knew the defender thought I was doing it. So that's why I gave the little shimmy. And then, that's, if you looked at many of my goals for my career, that is a area that I like to shoot from. A lot of people have messaged me saying it was like the goal I scored for Notts County against Bradford last year.
Yeah.
And as soon as I hit it, I knew it was in. And yeah, a goal is a goal, but yeah, scoring a nice goal is a nice goal. But obviously, again, we didn't win, so it's all good. It might as well have been a 1-yard tapping because it really it didn't mean nothing. It might be nominated for goal of the month here or something, but other than that, it was nothing.
And obviously, 7 goals in 9, good form. People would normally say, sort of player looks like he's building confidence and in form, but obviously you're with a player of your experience. Is that even sort of the case anymore? You've been through so many times in and out of form. Does that even come into your head anymore? That kind of you're in purple patch kind of thing?
No, not really. I mean, I just feel like I'm in my patch, like where I should be. Like, I knew I thought when I came here, people might have thought, might not be able to score goals in League One. He's come from League Two. He's old, blah 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 blah. But like, put me after it. It's not overconfidence, but put me in the right team and at the right thing, and I'll score goals. I'll get chances in most teams, but it's down to me. How, like I said before, if I want to score goals, then I've got to get myself right in the right positions. I've got to conduct myself right every day. Don't just roll onto the pitch and make it happen. But it's a good purple patch for me. But I don't want it to just be a purple patch. I want it to be a patch until the end of the season and hopefully get as many points as we can for this club.
Just wanted to ask you about one of the big football stories of this week, James Milner breaking the Premier League record. Obviously older than yourself, 40 years old, a fantastic career that he's had. Is he someone that is sort of inspirational to you in a way that he can keep going at that level and play 650 odd games?
I don't think people like take it really what that is, that many games in the top league. I think remember him. I was a bit younger than him, and when he first came through, there was like the hymns and the Aaron Lennons at Leeds. I remember them clearly. And to play that many games in the Premier League, and we're not talking about the Donald Duck Premier League. We're talking about the big teams. His resume that he's played for, it's unbelievable. And I'm mates with Lallana. I know how he changed his mindset when he met up with the Jordan Hendersons, the James Milners at Liverpool, how they conducted themselves, and it changed Adz's philosophy on being a footballer. So I know what Milner's about. I seen it when they came down here. He played for Brighton in the cup game, and he was just. I wasn't playing, but I was walking down the corridor, and he was doing these stretching. He was doing his foam roller stretching. He was making sure he was right, and at that age, and played 600 and whatever games then, and play on a Tuesday night down at Barnsley on a cold. He was up for it. And that's a mindset, and that's where it gave, his mindset is that he'll show, and I don't think he'll want to stop at 650 or whatever he's at. He'll want to reach more and more, because that's the guy he is.
You mentioned Davis Keeler-Dunn earlier, obviously a big loss to lose him. Was that what was that like when he left? And obviously Tom Bradshaw came in, but maybe the club didn't get as many reinforcements as they wanted. And did you think, right, again, I'm just going to have to step up here?
Yeah, obviously it's a loss to the club for DKD leaving, but as a person, I think he deserved it in a way. I think he's done his hard job. He's scored a lot of goals. He's a really good player, and I think he needed that step up in the Championship. I think at the start of the season, he wanted to go out and show again and how many goals he could score, and he got a lot of goals until January. And Wrexham are a club that they're in the top 6 now of the Championship, so DKD could be a Premier League player next year. And fair play to the boy. He's a great player, great lad. He never caused one bit of bother, even though when the transfer speculation was going off, he kept his head down and trained well. And sometimes in football, you have to let people move on. And we brought Bradders in, wealth of experience, played against him a lot of times in the Championship. Good player, scored. Here he's buzzing, he's round the place, he's a great lad to have around the place, enthusiastic, and he could do my running for me as well, so that helps as well.
Yeah, because there's a lot of talk sort of around the place about yourself and Bradshaw in terms of there's not many other senior strikers, and there's such a grueling schedule coming up, so can they do it? But I guess so far so good.
You ask me if I want one striker or 5 strikers at the club, I'll just say I just want myself. Like, it's, Con might tell you different. He might want 5 strikers and rotate it. But yeah, there's me, brother. There's Faz, who's a young boy who I really like. He's learning off us. He's training hard. He works hard. He might be involved at any time if he needs to step up. But yeah, there's me and Bradders, and we're gonna have to share the load. But Bradders is a top professional as well. He looks after himself very, very well. You can see why he's played at the top. And yeah, he's a great type of the dressing room, and he's a great player as well. He scores goals. He got his first goal here the other week, and I'm sure he'll chip in with his fair amount as well.
And just lastly from me, is it just a little bit of tightening up at the back that you're away from being a really serious team at this level?
This is why I said I don't want to be a coach or a manager, because I ain't got the answer for that. We do everything. I promise you, we do meetings, defensive, the back 4, back 6. They've got individual meeting now. Before we have a team meeting, we'll go out today. We'll do defensive work. We do defensive set pieces work every time. I can't put my finger on it. What it is this football. And this is why, I'm already bold. I don't know what would happen if I'd be a manager. I think I'd lose my mustache and my goatee. Like, I think I wouldn't be able to handle it. Like, I haven't got the answer for you. Like, I'm not a robot. I don't want to give you robot answers. I don't know why we're conceding these goals. It's not through hard work. It's not through planning. It's not through prep. It's just football at the minute, and we're trying everything we can.
Okay, that's me done. Thank you for your time.
Legend.
Hiya, Davey. Listen, I've not got too many.
No.
I was just wondering, are you big on sort of hitting numbers each season? I mean, you're in double figures again, and it's going well. Is that something that sort of motivates you?
No, not numbers. Not in terms of I ain't got a figure. Like I'm not looking at it now. I think I'm on like 12 in all competitions now. I know that. I know what I am on, but I'm not looking at. Oh, I gotta get 20 by the end of the season. Whatever. Just scoring goals. You know, you could get a brace, you could get a hat trick, and then that changes things. You know, I always go into each game in visualizing scoring, and when I'm driving here with my kids on a Saturday, they're asking me how many are going to score, and I say, oh, I'm going to score 2 today, or they say you're going to score 1, or I'll say, oh, well, I'll bring a match ball home for you. So I always go with that positive mindset. But there's no figures on how many I want to score at a minute. And then it sounds a bit cliche, but it's on the truth. But I want the club to win some games. We've got a good run of fixtures coming up where we can get points, and you know, I think that's down to us as players. You know, we get all the prep work from the staff, the gaffer, so detailed. Sometimes I think it's a bit nervy. I think when we concede, when we went 2-0 up not long ago, we just get this kind of what's the word? You know, we change the game a little bit, and I think that's not through like bad play. It's just through nerves, and there's a lot of young boys out there, and then one bad thing happens, and there's a few groans, but that's part of football. This will stand all the players through in good stead in their career.
Someone who is bothered about numbers, and his dad is someone you know well in Billy Sharp. You'll be bumping into him in a few weeks.
Yeah.
How's the sort of banter going? I mean, you're in similar positions at this stage of your career. You obviously sort of buzz each other. You're big friends. How's the sort of dynamic there? I mean, you must be keeping each other going a bit.
Yeah, Sharpie. I know Sharpie will be watching and see what I'm scoring, thinking he wants to outscore me. He won't want me to outscore him. Yeah, phenomenal guy. Scoring goals. I see he plays. He's always available to play for Doncaster. Will still score. I don't know when he's going to call it a day. You might be doing an interview in 10 years. He could be that guy that's 40 odd still playing. But yeah, it's good competition. I think without even talking about it to him about it, you know, I think he always looks at me hoping I do well. I'm always looking at him hoping he does well. But at the same time, you know, there's that healthy competition. Sharp McGoldrick, who's going to score more?
Yeah.
And how many has he scored this year? I know he put something on Insta about him
He's
scoring.
about double figures. He scored a few in the
cup.
He must have half a dozen in the trophy. Yeah,
I think he was fighting online, wasn't he? Because they said 9 and then he said 10, didn't he? So yeah, he was having a fight with social media about it. So that's Billy Sharp for you there.
Yeah. I was just thinking, you touched on, you know, stuff like mentoring young players. Is that you're not bothered about the coaching and managing? I don't blame you either. But that mentoring side, could you see that being potentially something for you?
Yeah, in some kind of roles, yeah. When I say I'm not, I don't want to be a coach or a manager. You know, that doesn't mean don't want to be involved in football. You know, coaching, mentoring young players. You know, I think I've done things I don't have to go into details, but I've done things with players this year, helping them, especially the attackers, in terms of just doing things with individuals, or with Reyes, I mean, going for individual clips of him. And that's not me wanting to be a coach. That's just me wanting to help someone, you know, I see the potential in players, and I played at the top, so I kind of know what it kind of takes, and I played against the best. So, you know, at one point, Reyes, if I go into a little bit of detail, wasn't making the runs in behind as much, but then I was telling him to be more direct, and it's not all about, you know, YouTube reels or step overs on the outside and getting past the man. You know, you need to get numbers, you need to get goals, like and you know, now he's a £5 million rated player, so you know, when they sell him, hopefully I get 4.5 million of that myself.
I was going to ask you, Fan, I know you touched on how Mick McCarthy was a big figure in your career. He sort of changed you from a boy to a man, that sort of thing. Yeah, you're having a great career, not had a great career. You're a top professional. All the players you've learned, is there any lesson you've learned from players earlier in your career? Anything that you've sort of taken with you?
In terms of, like, obviously talking of Mick, did a lot for me. It changed me into a man. Into the managers, again, Chris Wilder, you know, what he'd done for me at Sheffield. In terms of players, you know, I think what was a real wake-up call for me was when I got called up into the Republic of Ireland squad. I was 25, 26, and I've gone to play for my country, and I've got the likes of Robbie Keane, Kevin Doyle, Shane Long, John Walters ahead of me, and I'm just in the squad, and I'm there. So I'm thinking, how do they conduct themselves every day? And I think it was the first training session. You get to the hotel, and then you get a bus to go to the training ground, and I got John Walters with who was at the time Stoke's main striker, scoring goals in the Premier League. He's like stretching down the middle of the bus, doing walks of a band, getting himself ready, and I'm at the back of the bus, just chilling, just thinking. You just turn up to training, and that's kind of when I realized that the why the players are at the top is at the top. So there's no like real person where that's I've looked at and thought that's how you do it. I've just realized through being at the top of Ireland, and when I went to Chef U, how the top players look after themselves and what you got to do every day. It is a lifestyle, and it's how much you want to care and how much you want to be at the top to do that.